So these are the top 10 foods that you shouldn't keep overnight, especially at room temperature. All right. So if you're going to keep at refrigeration mode, how many days? I'm going to talk about that. If you're going to keep at freezer, that's the best. All right. Now, first and foremost question. A lot of times people have this, concern that when you keep, whether it's your veg or your fruits in a freezer, does it affect the nutrition level? So the good news is this. It doesn't affect or impact the nutrition level of the things that you freeze. And in fact, what is good is that it contains and it preserves the nutrition in the food. In fact, it is far better compared to putting it at a refrigeration stage. So this is something that I want you guys to remember, that the only thing you'll compromise is this. Of course, the quality of the ingredient is contained in terms of the nutrients, but in terms of the texture, right? In terms of the taste profile, it may alter a bit because the loss of what? Water content in that produce, whether it's meat or vegetables. So if you freeze that product for a long time, you will realize that when you defrost it and when you cook it, the quality is unlike the fresh ones that you buy. So that's the only con you have. But apart from that, if you are wondering, does it really affect my nutrition level? The answer is no. All right. So I hope this is really, really important for many of you. Could be wondering, what is the right thing to do, right? So top 10 foods, guys. Number 1, right? Leafy greens, right? Avoid overnight when you have cooked it, right? Just to be clear, when I'm talking here about cooked veg, not raw veg, all right? And the moment you keep it overnight and when you reheat it, the nitrates will turn into nitrates, all right? And these are harmful for the body, right? So instead of becoming good, it releases toxins. So, there are some people say, the more overnight the food is, it tastes better. For vegetable, I would not recommend that. All right, especially, Chinese, we take a lot of the kiam chai. Kiam chai is the sourish preserved vegetable, right? So actually, it turns very acidic. Once in a while, you can enjoy that, but taking that very frequently is really bad for yourself, your health, and also it creates wind. Some people will have problems with their legs, right? So I'm sure some of you have heard about that before, right? Number 2, mushrooms. Now, mushrooms is really important, all right? That you constantly, keep it at dry places, and after it's cooked, right, make sure that you immediately eat it. Don't keep it too long, because at the end of the day, think about this, right? Mushrooms are fungus in a way, all right, and what happens is that it can upset the stomach if you're not storing it properly, right? Now, some of you are asking, like kimchi, Joanne here, right? Now, understand that fermented foods and cooked foods are very different. Okay, I'm glad some of you raised up the question, like sauerkraut, for example, kimchi. They are very different. Fermented food, because it grows good bacteria. This is where your probiotics, or in some cases prebiotics, are cultivated. But this does not apply to cooked food. Okay, clear? Type in there clear if this is clear. All right. So number 3, rice. This one is a very typical stuff. We always say, the overnight rice you use for fried rice. Based on the FSA standard, you could actually have a problem if you constantly keep your overnight rice for far too long. So if you really want to keep overnight rice, I would only recommend that you keep it not more than 1 night. Just 1 night, that's it. Not 2 nights, 3 nights, 4 nights. If you really want to keep it, the only way is you freeze it. If you're keeping it refrigerated, consume after 1 night. Is that clear, everyone? All right? And don't constantly reheat. I see some people is set, they take the rice out from the refrigerator, they heat it up, they eat a bit, they keep it overnight again. Tomorrow, they heat it up again. After more than 2 rounds of reheating, right, the highly resistant to bacteria is no longer there, right? So what it does, that try is this bacillus, right? It's a form of germs. All right, now, number 4, eggs. Never leave cooked eggs out for more than 2 hours. So if you buy your chap chai peng, right, means those stores where they fry the egg from morning until night, you avoid that, right? And again, these are all research done by FDA bodies, because they see that, again, through microscopic lens, how fast the bacteria grow in some of these foods here, right? And if you really want to know what is the temperature that bacteria grow very quickly, is 4 Celsius to 60 degrees Celsius. This is the danger zone. So this is room temperature. Never put all of your cooked food like eggs out in the room temperature for far too long. So parents, if you are trying to fry an egg for your children before they come back from school, or any of your family members coming back to work, try to prepare your food within the 2 hours. Not like, okay, I prepare at 3, 4 p.m., then I cover it so that when at night they come back, they get to eat. It's really bad. Some people may not experience that immediate effect. Some it may take months before you start to go into food poisoning stage, right? And number 5, seafood. Seafood is one of the highest infected bacteria rate foods out there, all right? And it constantly harboring, all the bacteria, even though you reheat it, right? So sometimes even when you reheat it, you can't kill the bacteria in seafood, right? This is very important. Number 6, chicken, right? So after 2 hours, try to, discard it. Again, this room temperature. So if you see most of the supermarkets today, they have the grilled chicken. They are usually kept in a warmer, right? There's like a mini oven out there to heat the chicken. Or you go to your grilled chicken deli, you'll see that the chicken constantly gets heated up in there because they want to prevent the bacteria from forming. But if you see any of the chicken that has been cooked, they are putting it out on the open, room temperature, avoid that. That is dangerous food, right? Number 7, potatoes. Potatoes, right? Reheating will not always kill this off. So again, right, you want to immediately eat your potatoes. Some people will say, Mark, what if I prepare my potato salad? I'm going to leave it overnight in the refrigerator. What do y'all think? Is that okay or not? Yes or no? Yes or no? Some of us have prepared, right? Our potato salad, you put the mayonnaise and all that stuff, right? Only if the refrigerator is not having contamination of meat in it. Unfortunately, at our homes, most of us have what? Everything you throw inside the refrigerator, meat, vegetable, fruits, everything. A professional restaurant will only put all veg and fruits in one refrigerator, meat separately. If you are having meat stored in the same refrigerator and your potato salad you're going to keep in your fridge overnight, what you want to do is put it in an airtight container. Don't just use cling wrap. Don't just put it with the uncovered, cover inside the refrigerator because the bacteria will circulate around. Tea drinkers, always make sure that you all steep your tea or cook your tea. The worst thing you can do is drinking cold iced tea. Means you take the tea leaves, you put ice water inside. This is where the bacteria will continue, right? It will not die. So when you all drink tea drinkers, and anyway, it's unlikely any tea drinkers will use cold water to steep your tea, right? Or brew your tea. But there are some practices in that sense, where some people just open the tea leaves, they put into a room temperature water, they wait for the tea to subside, and then they drink. Nope. You got to make sure they are putting it at hot water. Otherwise, you're going to get E. coli. Right? E. coli is very, very nasty. Right? Number 9, deli meats. Anyone here could love all your ham, cured meat, bacon, right? Sausages. Make sure you don't put it out at room temperature for more than 2 hours. So when you're buying from the supermarket, bring your ice cooler bags. Reach home, immediately freeze it, right? Or refrigerate it. The longer you keep, the more bacteria it grows, right? Because deli meat has a lot of easily attracting bacteria. All right, now number 10, buffet. That's why buffet, very important where you all eat. Now, I'm sure all of you know, right? McDonald's and KFC. What happens by the end of the shift if they can't sell off all their burgers and fried chicken? They throw away. They don't even allow actually their employees to take it, right? So imagine those kopitiam restaurant that they actually keep overnight again and they bring out again and serve it to you. You can, that day if you just sway bad luck, just bad luck your immunity is low. You kena, right? So it's not about whether that food is cheap or expensive. It's whether that food is handled with ethical, handling and also quality. All right, I hope this gives you guys a very good in-depth of when you're buying your food today, cooked food especially, right? Make sure that they are prepared fresh.